Hey guys, welcome back to my colourful country life. I have a very special video for you guys today. We are going to be colouring for Cancer. So this is part of an initiative brought about by Joe from Picky Pens here on YouTube. It is running throughout the entire month of February, and also the wonderful Mr. RJ Hampson has jumped on board and created this exclusive illustration for the event. This is called TLC. Now, if you would like to get a copy of TLC, you will need to donate to the World Cancer Research Fund through that Just Giving link. You can donate as little or as much as you're able to. Once you've donated though, you will receive an email with your receipt. And if you scroll down a little on the receipt, there's a download link for this page included. Now, I know not everybody is in a position to support financially, so I really wanted to offer another way to take part and support this initiative that isn't going to cost you guys anything. So because of that, I'm going to be donating the AdSense revenue from this video at the end of the month directly to the Just Giving link. And I'm also going to be personally matching that amount as well as an additional donation. So from here, all you guys will need to do is watch this video all the way through. Play it again if you like, share it with your friends, pop it up in the background when you're coloring, doing your housework, cooking, whatever you're doing. If you can, also make sure to like and comment on the video as well, because when comments, view times and views all line up to similar amounts, the algorithm is more likely to push the video out to new viewers. And doing that gives us the best possible chance to raise more money for cancer research. So I will pop all the links I have mentioned down in the video description if you would like to donate or if you would like to grab a copy of TLC. So like I said, yeah, you can donate through that link, which will give you a copy of this page. And if you are unable to do so, please like, comment and watch the video all the way through, and that is also going to help push this through to other people, which will raise those funds. Okay. So you guys have probably guessed what is happening by all of the items spread out before me here, but I have decided to challenge myself and do a one color challenge. This has actually been a highly requested viewer challenge, and I have decided to choose the color pink for this one. Now, pink is of course the color for breast cancer awareness, and I did mention in my plans video that I am coloring this page for my very best friend in the entire world, but I'm also doing this one for every one of you as well. So I know almost everybody's lives have been touched by cancer, unfortunately, in some way. You are not alone in your journey, your process, your grief, however this has affected you guys. And the colouring community has just shown how supportive, how kind, how amazing they truly are. So far, I think we've raised, I think it's around 15,000 Australian dollars, which is absolutely unbelievable. And that is going to do great things in cancer research. So I am so proud of you all and sending love and support to anybody who needs it today. So who is joining me with this challenge? I'm going to be using my Ohuhu Honolulu alcohol markers for base layers. Now, I may do a little bit of shading with them, but mostly I'm just going to be basing. And I'm going to be using the 320 set. I've pulled out all my pink tones here. Just a quick heads up though, my markers do still have the old numbering system. The conversion chart is available on Ohuhu's website, and I will try to remember to link that down below for you as well. But over the top of the basing, I'm going to be using my Prismacolor pencils to add in shading and details. And I have pulled out my pink Prismacolor combo worksheet here to give me a bit of a visual guide and help me along the way. I'm going to be using a mix of warm and cool pinks. Some will be purple leaning, some will be more salmony peachy pinks as well, but they will all be pinks. I've also got my Ohuhu swatch chart on hand too, so I can pick out the colors I want to use for basing as I go. I have not planned anything for this page at all, so I'm going to be winging it. I am thinking of popping some washi tape around the edges here to create a border, and then maybe using my Arteza soft pastels to create a really soft background, as I don't want the background to stand out. Also, I used my Nina cardstock to print off the illustration. I printed it off in letter size, which is the size of the cardstock, I believe. I've got some plastic here somewhere. Here we go, that I might pop behind. Actually, I might actually pop my glass cutting mat underneath instead, just to protect my desk. So let's get into it and see what we can create. Okay, so like I mentioned today, I am doing a one color challenge. This was highly requested, something I have never attempted before, but here we are, officially coloring an entire page using only shades of pink. Let's see how this goes. When I'm planning a one color page like this, the biggest thing I'm thinking about actually isn't the color, it's value and color temperature. So value is just light versus dark. If everything was to sit at the same depth, the page would flatten really quickly, especially when you're only working with one color. And of course, temperature matters too. So even within pink, some tones will lean more peachy and warm, others will lean slightly purple and cool. So those tiny shifts are what will separate the characters on the page from the bed, the other furniture, the background, that kind of thing. So firstly, I am creating a border with my washi tape. Now, make sure you stick the washi tape onto your leg, your clothing, or something first, just to take away some of that tackiness, and that's going to prevent the paper from ripping when we eventually lift it back off. Also, don't press it down too firmly. You want it just enough to prevent the color from seeping underneath that tape. If you ever do find your washi tape is sticking and starting to tear at your paper, you can heat it up first using a heat gun really gently, or with a hairdryer as well. I'm just winging my placement of the tape too. I'm lining it up somewhat with the edge of the image with the skirting boards there, which on my page means the washi tape. It's about half on the page and then half stuck to the cutting mat, which is actually really helpful as it's keeping the page in place for me and the paper's not moving around at all. But on your page, it might be a little bit different in size, so it might sit a little bit differently. I have printed mine on my Nina cardstock and it is in letter size. So just keep that in mind if you're creating a border with your washi tape as well, or you can always skip this step if you wanted to too. For the background, I'm using my Arteza soft pastels. I have the 72 set and they have a really good color range, and I already know the two colors that are going to fit perfectly on this page, and they are A404 Mulberry and A400 Watermelon Pink. Now, if you don't have this same set, try to find two kind of dusty pink tones within the sets that you do have. We just want this really soft, gentle background so it doesn't compete with any of the other elements on the page. We're looking for a really soft, romantic kind of pastel look to this page. Now, I do have a full video on how to use soft pastels for backgrounds. I will link it in the eye above if anyone is looking for a refresher. But today I'm just taking my Caran d'Ache palette here and I'm going to use my cutting knife to scrape some of the color off, ready for me to apply with a cotton round, and I am putting this onto the smooth side of my Caran d'Ache palette. Now, I'm probably going to start sounding like a broken record very soon, but like I always say, if you don't have any of these products, you can still use what you have on hand. So shop your stash. Any non-porous surface will work instead of using the palette. So you could use an old plate, a painting palette if you have one, whatever you have on hand, as well as a knife that's in your kitchen drawer, or even the side of a card, like basically a hard plastic card. That would also help shave some color off. You could even use your fingernail. Whatever you have on hand will work. Now, what I'm doing is using my lightest color all over the area as a base, and then I'm going in with my darkest shade. I always work from light to dark with my soft pastels. I just think I get a nicer blend when I do it that way. With my shadow color, which is Mulberry, I am using it sparingly around the top of the page, away from the window, and also then for the floor, I'm using it closer to the bed. So placing it in places, placing it in areas where there are going to be more shadows. I'm also using more of it on the flooring as well, so the color is slightly deeper and it helps to differentiate between the walls and the floor a little bit more too. You'll notice I don't mask my pages when I'm using soft pastels. They will erase easily from unwanted areas, especially when using colours this light. Some darker colours may not be so forgiving, but these ones will be perfectly fine. Also, this entire page is going to be pink, so if we get pink pastel elsewhere, it's still going to be pink in the end, so don't worry about it. Keep a soft brush handy though, so you can gently sweep away any loose particles. With the cotton round, I just fold mine into quarters and then use the same cotton round for both colours. I just refold it to get a cleaner section of it, that's all. Once you're happy with how your background is looking, you can slowly remove that washi tape and then check if there's anything on the page that you want to erase. So usually I'm looking for areas which might have too much pigment, too much dark colour in it, but honestly, with today's page, you don't have to erase anything. The alcohol markers are going to go over it nicely, and like I said, it's all pink. I did get a little smudge on the side under my washi tape down the bottom there, so I am going to clean that up a little bit with my electric eraser, but otherwise make sure you don't have any debris on your page, so like swipe it off with your brush or blow it off gently, and then we're going to spray it with Workable matte fixative to prevent the colours from transferring and smudging as well. Now if you are new to fixatives, I will pop a link to a video up in the eye above that will tell you everything you need to know. Now on to the fun part, basing with our pinks. I've pulled out my Ohuhu 320 set here, my Honolulus. I still have the old numbering system on mine, and I have mentioned before that if you would like to convert to the new system, if you have newer markers than mine, the conversion chart is up on Ohuhu's website too, and I'll try and remember to link that down below too. I have pulled out a mix of pink, some warm, some cool, some slightly purple leaning, and some salmon tones for the wood. This was honestly the hardest part for me. I do tend to colour things in more believable colours, you know, leaves are green, wood is brown, skies are blue, that kind of thing. So colouring things like a tree pink definitely woke up a different part of my brain. It was a bit of a challenge, so I decided to start with the sky today because that kind of feels like a bit of a safe area to experiment because I can picture a pink sky. I'm using 3 colours for this section to blend so it covers the larger area quicker and it takes less pencil shading after, and these pinks are actually really pretty. If you are interested in how to blend with alcohol markers, let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can do a tutorial for you guys. I usually blend in a couple of stages with my markers, so I'll lay down my lightest first, then go in with my darkest shadow, then my mid-tone, then I come back in with my lightest to soften the edges and blend it all out. So for this combination, that means using RV 260 all over, then R190 for my deepest shadows, and then RV270 as my mid-tone, and then going back in with the RV260 to blend everything else out. I always base light first because it gives me room to build my colours up as well. It is much harder to pull back when you've used deeper colours, and it's also going to give me the smoothest transition as well. So when I'm blending colours, I use a scumbling technique, which is small circular motions, basically the same kind of technique that I use when I'm blending with coloured pencils. I love the warmth in the sky against the cooler tones of the background here. It's already given us a little bit of separation. Also, just a little reminder, this is going up as a live premiere, so I will be in the chat while it is airing. If you are watching with me live, hi, come say hello in the comments. After the premiere finishes, I would really appreciate if you went and left a comment on the video itself as well. So that's what's going to help it keep reaching new people long after the live chat has ended. If you're not sure what to write in the comments section, maybe just drop a pink heart, or you could put a heart in a colour that represents a Cancer that is close to your own heart, or maybe tell me whether you would try a 1-colour challenge like this, or do you already do it? Let me know. Every full watch and every comment does help this travel further, so the further it travels, the more we raise. Thank you so much. Now back to it. Finishing off the sky here, I am working in small sections as well, so I'm getting a nice blend while the markers are still wet. I'm not letting them dry first while I blend them out. And after I finish the sky, I'm going to go in and start giving our little furry friends here a bit of color. And when you are working monochromatic like this, you do need those temperature shifts. So for example, what I'm talking about here is our rabbit. I'm imagining him in a very soft pale pink. The fox, I think, maybe a slightly warmer, maybe a peachier tone. Is he a wombat or is he a koala? What is he? I think he's a wombat. I'm not sure, but he is going to be cool toned anyway because he looks pretty cool. And our playful little kitten down there is going to be a more warm toned salmony pink. They're all pinks, just different pinks, and that's what's going to stop everything from merging together as one. If you would like to try this challenge yourself and you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, simplify it. So pick 3 marker colors, 1 warm, 1 cool, 1 neutral, and use those throughout the page in different places to create your different color balances. You could, if you wanted to go that little extra step further, is create a color combo. So a warm combo with 2 to 3 markers, and then a cool one with 2 to 3 markers, and a neutral with 2 to 3 markers if you want to blend and add shadows and highlights with your markers. Otherwise, 3 markers are plenty, and you can use that to create your different sections across the page. You don't need 20 pinks, you just need contrast. So today I'm still trying to keep the overall look of this page quite soft. I think softer colors are a little more comforting than my usual bold, bright colors. I'm curious actually, do you prefer warmer pinks or cooler pinks? I feel like people are usually firmly in one camp actually. I love a dusty muted pink or a blush pink myself, especially when it comes to clothing. Okay, quick little check in here if you're still watching. I am curious. Are you somebody who sticks to realistic colors like me? I don't color hyper realistically, but I do like my realistic colors. Or do you actually prefer to color things completely outside the box? I'm really interested to know what you would choose, because this one color challenge definitely pushed me a little bit here. Normally I would reach for particular colors for elements without even thinking twice about it, but trying to figure out what I want to be: a cool tone pink, a warm tone pink, a peachy tone pink, a more pinky purple. I didn't actually use any reddish pinks, I don't think, today, but yeah, trying to differentiate between the different color temperatures, that was probably the hardest bit for me to consider. Not that color temperature is a tough subject, it's just when you're using one color throughout the whole thing and you need to match those color temperatures. So usually you'll use cool tones on a page, or you'll use a warm tone palette on a page, but mixing them all together and trying to figure out what elements to place them on, that's the catch here, I think. Also, just for fun, if you were going to do a one color challenge, what would be the one color that you would pick? Would you like a bold red, a calm blue, greens, browns, actually like a sepia colored page? I think that'd be really fun. Or even like a grayscale page, that could be fun too. Let me know in the comments what colour you would choose, or would you like to see me do another one colour challenge with a different colour, for example? Let me know in the comments below. Even just a single word is fine. It actually helps this video genuinely get seen by more people if you are commenting, which means more support for cancer research too. Okay, back to basing. Just finishing off the fur of our little fox friend here. I'm actually not going to do any fur textures today. I think it looks really sweet and more cartoonish, I think, without those fur textures. So I think that's going to be a bit fun. And then what I'm going to do next is move on to some sort of white elements. So I'm kind of jumping around a little bit today from one element to the other, basically because, like I said, I'm trying to work out my color temperatures and make sure specific things are they have enough depth and they're standing out and things aren't blending all in together. Now, I am loving RV010, which is water lily, for areas that would normally be white. It's so light the camera barely picks it up, but it adds the faintest pink cast to the element. What I'll do then is go back in later with my pencils to add a little bit of shadow. That's going to keep the white look but still fit the monochromatic theme at the same time. So great trick for one color pages. Instead of leaving something stark white, tint it slightly and it'll all match in together. Using RV160 Thistle, which is a beautiful cool tone, it is pushing into the pink purple territory, actually possibly leaning a little more purple once it's dry, but I do think it works really well as a cool tone base color. And this cool tone is going to help differentiate between certain elements so it doesn't all blend together into one big pretty pink cloud. Now I am starting to add some deeper colors into a few areas because even though this is soft and we want a pastel palette, we still need contrast or everything will feel flat. So with the leaves, I am going darker than the hills behind them, and this is automatically making the leaves feel closer and the hills feel further away. It's a little tricky, but we're just playing with a light, and you can see where the light is coming from behind. So the leaves are at the front near the window, so they're going to be darker than where the sun is rising or setting or whatever is happening in that pink sky background. The hills I am intentionally keeping softer because I want to add some snowy details later with acrylic markers. So I'm already thinking ahead while I'm basing here and planning for the final look. So you will see me use these deeper tones again for the quilt. So if I had stayed really light there with the quilt, it would have completely blended in. The rabbit and the fox, they're quite pale, so the quilt needed to be a little bit more deeper to differentiate between all of the little fairy creatures. And then for the bed frame, I'm going back in with that cooler pink purple tone. I like that it contrasts between the warmer pinks in the room, so it almost makes it feel like one of those soft pastel nursery rooms. For the rest of the landscape that's outside the window, I wanted it to feel connected to the sky but not identical. So the tree is getting a warm blush tone that pulls from the shadows in the sky, and the house is going to be a little bit more peachy. That tiny shift stops it from disappearing into the background. Even in monochrome, you can still create separation. You just have to look at value and temperature instead of reaching for a completely different color family. Okay, on to our pink wood. This could have gone wrong so quickly. I am using salmon leaning pinks for the base. That warmth really helps it read as wood grain, even though it isn't brown. So if you're nervous about colouring something an unrealistic colour, focus on how light hits it, where shadows sit, and that's what's going to make it look a little bit believable still. Again, still pink, so we're still safe. So I'm going to take these contrasting shadows now, the cool tone, the peachy tone, the salmon tone, and the traditional pink colours, and use them on all of the rest of the elements on the page. I'm just going to place them in areas where it's going to help add contrast and not look too samey. Once the marker base was all down, I actually really loved the page just as it was, so I decided to use my Prismacolor sparingly over the top just to add in some depth so it wasn't too flat looking, and this is where the magic begins. Markers do give you a quick smooth coverage, but pencils are going to add that little bit extra. So from this, I didn't end up using my Prismacolor combos. I just wanted small touches of shading to lift the page, but not add too much vibrancy. I didn't want to burnish the page. I just wanted to make it look a little bit less flat. So this part was the easy part for me, picking a few pencils to add shading to what's already on the paper. No big deal, easily done. Colouring a tree pink, that felt a little bit strange. It is always fun to try something new and something that is out of your comfort zone though. I am really enjoying this process, and using only one colour actually makes the process super quick too. And really there's very little struggles of colour choices once you get started. Most of this page is based around three things, which is a warm combination, a cool combination, and then your standard pink combination. So if you're really struggling, I mentioned earlier, just pick out 3 colours for the basing and then work off that. Now I did mention that this page is dedicated to my best friend Deb. We've been friends for over 30 years now, close to 35 years I think, and for as long as I've known her, she has always hated the colour pink. And pink is the colour of breast cancer awareness, so of course that would be the colour that she dislikes the most. So when I told her I was doing an entire page in pink for this fundraiser, I did say to her, you're gonna love this and you're also going to hate it at the same time. We had a good laugh. She did admit that she has softened slightly on the colour pink now, but that is our humour. She gets it, I get it, the kids will all get it. But in all seriousness, this page is for her. We have been through everything together, the good, the bad, the ugly, and also for anybody else that is going through anything difficult right now. If we can turn colour into something hopeful, then that feels pretty special, and I think pink is such a happy colour. A lot of people come to the colouring community, to this hobby and also other creative pursuits as a way to deal with life's pressures, illnesses, a way to relax. Creation is a form of mindfulness, and this hobby isn't just about putting colour to paper. It's about how it makes us feel and the process of creation. The colouring community has the biggest heart and is full of the most amazing people, a lot of which have struggled or are going through struggles, and to see everybody come together this month just solidifies the wonderful, beautiful spirit of this community. Okay, on to my most favourite part, the embellishments. The page actually looks really sweet as it is, but you guys know me. I just need to add in those final finishing touches. I'm going to be pulling out my pink jelly rolls first. These are still in the sort of pastel pinky kind of tones, but just a little bit shiny, a little bit glittery. So I pulled out my extreme glitter hologram. It's a little bit subtle. It'll pick up the colors from the pinks in the background. I don't want this turning into a disco ball. Who am I kidding? I kind of do. Have you met me? I'm not going to make this too glittery though today, but a touch of sparkle is always necessary. And of course, the Tooli-Art paint pens are coming out. I'm going to be using some of the pink tones just to strengthen highlights and even knock back a few of those black lines. Something I always enjoy doing as well, softening those outlines so they feel less harsh and also more painterly. Now, can I use white? That is my question. Technically, this is a one color challenge with pink. But white is a highlight. White is not a colour family. I'm allowing it. I think I'm pushing the boundaries a little bit today. As we start to finish up, just a quick reminder, this video is going live as a live premiere. English is hard today, guys. Those, you know when you say a word too many times, it starts to sound weird. So I will be in the chat as it is airing. If you're watching live, please come say hello. And once the video wraps up, I would appreciate if you would pop back, leave a comment on the video itself as well. That's what helps it continue reaching new people after the live chat ends. If you're not sure what to write, drop a pink heart or possibly leave a heart in a colour that represents a Cancer that's close to your own heart. Or tell me if you'd like to try a one colour challenge like this yourself, or if you want me to do another one with a different colour, let me know also down below. If you would like to colour along with me or colour this page for yourself, the Just Giving link is in the video description. So once you donate, you will receive your receipt by email. There's a download link for the page included there, and you can donate whatever you're able to, big or small. It all goes directly to the World Cancer Research Fund. So every full watch of this video, every comment, every share, every like will help this reach further, and the further it reaches, the more we raise. Colouring, we can't fix the world, but it gives us space, it gives us calm, and right now it gives us a way to come together and raise funds for something that affects so many families. Maybe we can fix the world. We have come together so well so far and raised so much money. Thank you everybody who is here today and everybody who is liking and commenting and sharing. I really appreciate it. Let's fill the world with a little more pink. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys for being so kind and so generous. Please take care. Happy colouring, and of course, bye for now.